you doing? I am David McCallum, aka the Fresh Prince of Drummond Square, Ravie Davie, and this is the 10 Years In podcast. I'm joined with my partner,
Georgia.
and as I said, this is the 10 Years In podcast. This is now episode 5. Un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq for our French listeners out there. But if you're French and you're listening to this, you're probably very, very confused because half of our Scottish listeners don't know what I'm saying when I start talking. But I'll try and fix that, don't worry. But anyway, I'll hand you to Georgia to get his underwear.
Underwear?
Aye, Wanderer's pattern, innit?
So yes, it's episode 5. This has been a quick 5 weeks. To be fair, I feel like I start every episode saying this has been quick, this has been busy. So let's turn it up a bit. We'll talk about we're halfway through August.
Halfway through August, it is flying in, by the way.
It is absolutely flying in. You have only got one more day left of the summer camp. So David has been doing a summer camp, the full summer holidays, for kids for the age of 5 right up until 15. To be fair, you've no moaned once. You seem to have really enjoyed your summer.
But it's best job in the world. I get to teach people how to wrestle and give people that maybe kids that don't like mainstream sports a sport and an outlet and a thing that they can do that they love. So it is the best thing ever. I do love doing it. No complaining that much. No complaint. So that's what I'm saying. See, when I do work at the wrestling school, I'll sometimes complain, but it's not actually about the wrestling school. Just because like anybody complains about working, don't they? Sometimes you don't want to get up at 7 in the morning to go to your work, but then when I'm in at the school and you see all the kids laughing and smiling, it goes away. But I've not actually complained once, but I've just been complaining about the fact I've not had a day off in about 3 months. So Wednesday, here we go, man.
Are you buzzing for a day off?
You know, I'm not going to really be having a day off. I know I'll be doing stuff on emails and all that, but I'm going to try and chill. PS5 in the house, play the computer, see how it goes.
The part I love about the wrestling school is that the wee girls that go are all just as sassy and have got attitudes like me. So I said to David, you've just got loads of wee me's in the wrestling school that just boss you about and tell you what to do.
Actually do as well, man. Honestly, it's a pain, man.
So you've had an exciting day today because STV has been doing in the wrestling school filming for you all day.
Yeah, so it's going to be a small piece that's actually going out on the 12th of September. It's about the rise in gangs and youth violence in Scotland, and they wanted to come out and see a club that is maybe trying to a club that's giving kids an avenue to get off the street or to avoid this kind of thing. And obviously because at one point I was maybe younger and in a gang, and maybe
you were maybe in a gang,
could have been doing with a wrestling school to get me out of trouble. They thought it was a good place to come down and talk to us and see what we're doing, and they were really impressed. Funny enough, the main producer was called Georgia, so I had another Georgia bossing me about the day. No, I couldn't. To be fair, they were actually really great. They were all very helpful. They kind of just let me kind of direct what they were to do, which is different. Usually when I go to these things, you're getting directed about the place, but they kind of let me go with the flow and they wanted to see what it was doing. Very impressed. Got a lot of interviews with like Cade and Danny Millett, we Aaron and stuff like that. So
keep your eyes peeled.
12th of September, 6 o'clock-ish, STV. Get tuned in, because I'll not actually be able to watch it. I'll be doing a seminar.
Well, everybody, once it's coming up, we'll post it on our social media to remind you all, so you can go on and watch it. But we are just back from Dublin.
So actually, a wee funny story for the day. Sorry before we go into that, just because before we transition into something else, just so that I don't forget it. We actually had them in today for the 5 televideos, and in the wrestling school, I don't know if you've seen on TikTok, but one of the biggest things in the wrestling school is the entrances. The kids absolutely love it. I actually used to have a joke that it was actually more of an entrance school than a wrestling school, because the kids always want to do that. But when they were doing the entrances, obviously we got Caden in to show his entrance, because some of the kids were pretending they didn't know what they were doing, acting up in front of the cameras, obviously making my life difficult. So I got Caden, and he was also going, oh, why do you need to get me, man? Oh, why is it me? As soon as his music hit, he was in there like an absolute, I don't know way to explain it, but he was in there like, what's the word? He was in there like a house on fire. He was absolutely running about, shaking all the kids' hands, going like, do you want me to go back the way? All that, putting on an absolute show. That's one thing about Cade, and you probably hear a lot about him in this, but he'll tell you no, but as soon as the spotlight's on him, man, comes out his wee shell. So it was very funny getting to see him, obviously, and obviously the people for STV were impressed.
Were they loving it?
They were really. They were. One of the girls said that she'd never seen wrestling before, and now she feels like she knows everything about it after seeing us in here. Try to get them to go in the ring, but they weren't having it.
I can imagine you were filling it in with a fountain of knowledge.
It was me the kids that were actually doing it. Not I mean, I was more letting all the kids follow them in by the wrestling school, and they kept saying about how the kids would say the wrestling school was brilliant and it's one of the best. It's the best place for them. One of the actual kids today, I said to him, what's been your favourite part of the summer? And I didn't need to prompt him or ask him to say this for the camera, and he goes like that. Today being at the wrestling school, because obviously he was on holiday, he was in America for 5 weeks, and he says that being at the summer camp today was his favourite part of the summer. I was like, me managed to say that, man. I told your mom to swap me and you about, and I'd have went to America for 5 weeks and you could have took the wrestling school for me. That was the case, not
That's so cute.
That was brilliant. But so that was a great time with STV today. Hopefully, never knowing all. It's story about gang violence, but maybe it could turn into something bigger for the wrestling school. Here's hoping. I always feel like we've got a lot of stories to tell in the wrestling school, and I feel like it would be good to see it on the big stage. But now me and George have got a podcast, so we can't tell all the stories that way. Eventually we'll just all tell them all in here.
That's a dream.
That's a dream, aye. So what was that? Sorry, we're going to...
Oh, nothing. We're just going to say we're just back for Dublin.
Dublin, aye. Dublin,
from
aye.
Wrestling.
From the not wrestling podcast, I don't know.
It's just a full life.
I know, man. It's
just
actually
so much. It's just
no, but I love it. To be fair, I can definitely feel your pain, man. Honestly, I love wrestling. This is all. I would never cook. Last year, at some point in life, I was starving and now I've got all this stuff on my plate that I was asking for. Not I mean, but Jordan never asked for any of this, so I do feel her pain.
So we went to Ireland on Saturday because there's a wrestling company over in Ireland called Over the Top Wrestling, or OTT we call it. I've never been to Ireland, as I said on the episode last week. I did say last week that I don't drink, and David corrected me, so I do drink maybe 3 or 4 times a year, but we were drinking on Saturday, and we had a fab day. Like David was absolutely steaming. What were the cocktails called that you got?
The cocktails were just strawberry daiquiris, but I get 2 something sucking cowboys, and it goes. Not, and I don't want, because there's probably I'm sure you can put it together. But there was them, and then I got a wee Bailey's, cut of pints in the club.
We're these people, right, that don't drink for like 4 months at a time and then drink 4 months worth in the one night.
I would drink like we're 14 again. Not like we're 14 or
like
15. We're actually obviously 18 years old. That's obviously they just started drink. That's obviously they just started drink. We drink like we're 18 again. Not I mean like we're still young. But we drink like people that drink every weekend, like drink every weekend. Not I mean people that are hardcore in the sesh, but we've not lived that life in years. Not I mean honestly.
I think by the time I'd got to like 26, I just knew I was done with drinking, and then since then the amount of times I drink per year has just went down and down and down. But sometimes occasionally we will drink, so we knew on Saturday we were going there, we were going to enjoy ourselves. The show was in National Stadium, Dublin's National Stadium
in Dublin, and
there was over 2,000 people there. It was amazing. It was like a big massive rave.
Oh, it was mad, man. It was really good. OTT, I've wrestled for OTT a couple of times, but it is one of my big goals to be one of the main guys on the roster. I would love to go over every time they have a show and wrestle all the time. Their crowd are electric. They get some of the biggest names in wrestling on their shows. At the weekend there, they had Trent Seven, Danhausen, Demo. I don't know, a wrestler called Dolph Ziggler. You might have heard of him. Quite a big name.
Even though I was going about telling people we're going to see Cody Rhodes. I don't know why I wish.
No, the biggest name in wrestling right now. Curtis is laughing there because Curtis actually likes wrestling. I mean, so even he knows the magnitude.
He's thinking, I'd have been come with you.
It would have been sold out. It would have been 2,000. It would have been 2,000 people in the stadium. Not been. It would have been a 10,000 seater. But To be fair, this company have actually had Cody Rhodes in the past. They actually have had Cody Rhodes when he was on the independent scene, so it shows you how big a company that they are. And Cody Rhodes actually put them over in a podcast not that long ago. So this company is a goal of mine. I would really like to go, but it was good to just go along and watch it. Like I heard and see a lot of my friends and people that I've came up with in the wrestling business the last couple of years get big opportunities, like my mate LJ Cleary getting to wrestle against Dolph Ziggler, somebody that he's watched in wrestling since he was a wee boy. Since all this generation of wrestlers have watched since they were younger. I remember as far back as the Spirit Squad, so getting to see stuff like that is always good. Just getting to go to shows where I'm no stressing about me and George aren't having to worry about everything going on, but also it's good to see a show in that magnitude, because it is something that I don't that I know that I would like to do, and I'd imagine Georgia would like to do someday. It's really, when you run events, obviously, doing the ones at the size that we're doing, still hard work, and it's obviously fulfilling, it's really good, but it's always be good to try and do something a bit bigger and a bit better, and try and get the word out there for more people, which getting to see that really lights a fire in your belly. I'm just rambling.
That was my favourite part, was the fact that I was not stressed about a thing. The only thing I was stressing about was that they didn't. I put myself on a fizzy juice ban last week, and I went to buy vodka, and they only had diet juice, so I couldn't get like any orange juice or cranberry juice. So I was just loving the fact that we weren't stressed. We were actually just sitting there enjoying it, and David's got quite a few pals in Ireland that are also wrestlers, and we were trying to stop them and talk to them whilst they were so busy, and they were like, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I can't talk to you, I'm so busy." I said, "We're doing to them what people do to us every time we're at a show."
If you get it to me, I'm sure I'll look at it, you know.
And CJ West, which is one of David's pals, comes up to me at every show and asks
to be fair, that's the reason his nickname's
and he's the one that turned around to us and said, "I can't talk to you, I'm too busy." And I just loved that, because I think when we do our shows this week and he comes up and asks me for a favour, I'm just like, "Sorry, CJ, I'm too busy."
CJ West, his nickname's Cowboy, and he's the actual reason I had the certain Cowboys, and that was it was because he's probably my best pal for Ireland, and he was a long story. That's a story for another day, but that's the reason I drank the shots. That's why I nearly buttoned either. So
but it was a great night, and David spewed the full night.
Alright, so Dublin, so we may as well just go to the food review now before we go to that bit, because that is what that kind of relates. And even though, so you're probably going to be thinking he was sick and then he's going on to the food review, this must be absolute barking what they had. But it's actually no, we went to, where was it?
It was at Zion Street Food.
Zion Street Food. So CJ West, pal for Ireland, actually asked him for a recommendation, and he recommended Zion Street Food. So we went along to there. I can't remember exactly.
Half an hour walk.
Half an hour walk from the National Stadium, and when we got there, it was very, very busy. Absolute heaving.
The only way I can describe it, it was a takeaway with tables and chairs. Like there was, you couldn't swing a cat in the place, and it was as if they just shoved all these tables and chairs in, and they were trying to tell. Right, I'm obviously so shy and so anxious and stuff, and the guy that works there was trying to tell me and David to sit down next to people on the same table and eat with these people. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
I straight came up to him, like, you mind sitting with people? Like, I was like, I mean, I don't mind. No, I mean, I'll sit with anybody. Mate. Put me in the back with your, no, I mean, your staff, man. I'll hang about with them. No, I don't care at all. But George obviously didn't want it, so it was literally as he said that, but luckily a full table got up, so we were like, we'll just sit there, mate. He's like, okay, sat there, and then because he'd asked us that, I feel like maybe if he hadn't asked us that and Georgia hadn't put that out there, I feel like if other people came into the place, they'd have been sat next to us, but we end up having six seats between the two, you know what I mean? And I'm the awkward one, I'm the one that's embarrassing.
So,
but not just because I know, because if I don't say this, I'll forget it. Right, but know how you're talking about how the restaurant was. Remember we were in Morocco.
I was thinking that last night, and I wrote down what I got to talk about.
We were actually in Morocco, right? We're going to actually add this eventually, because me and Georgia have been on a lot of holidays, so eventually we're going to start talking about travelling on the podcast, but it's not the day for it, but I need to talk about this. So we were in Morocco for my 30th celebrations. We went to this highly recommended Indian restaurant, and I swear to God, it was the size of this room, maybe smaller, and also there was a big, so see this partition here, that was wide open, and the main street was right there, the actual main street, like the tuk-tuks and all the customers shopping were walking all the way down right next to you. You know what I mean? If you farted, you'd have had somebody in the public, no, I mean, somebody in the public street farted, you'd have smelt it, man. It was, honestly, it was offensive how small this place was. But I tell you what, I would go there again, and I would go there twice again. So the food was banging. That is honestly one of the best munchies I've had. I didn't remember the place, I need to find out, but Morocco, this size, mate, like actual, honestly, and there was about 10 tables and chairs in it, and all, man, you were packed into that one.
You're sitting next to this couple, and the guy was obviously terrified of cats, and there was so many cats walking about Morocco, and this one cat would not leave the guy alone, and he was about 6'5", and he was fucking terrified.
Man. To be fair, I wasn't frightened at that, but the situation was so absurd, you know what I mean?
It was like a full family, and they were all fighting and everything, like, because they were all getting so stressed. The place was tiny, and the lassie was getting, do you not remember, she was getting sent back and forth.
The lassie, and then they ended up arguing, they were all arguing before we were going outside, they were all really fighting and stuff like that, and the wee lassie's just, obviously the daughter or whatever, who, I think that was because, obviously I couldn't understand what they were saying, but I think the wee lassie, the server, was probably the guy's Wayne, and then the one that's shouting at her is obviously telling her you're doing this wrong or whatever, and he's ended up going like, stop talking to my daughter, you're talking to your bam. But so back to his and street food. Sorry if I didn't even get that in, I would have forgot it, but that's a wee funny story anyway. You know, you're getting funny stories all over the place, man. Anyway, so back to his and street food. What we got from there is the old famous spice bag that you've probably heard from.
I feel like in Glasgow that sounds like you're doing something weird.
Naughty.
Aye. Like,
got a legal high, man. Got illegal highs, man.
Like that would be something completely different in Glasgow.
I get what you mean, but I know the spice bag. No, but I think they're, especially with TikTok and that, I think they're like popular enough. People know they are. So you get a spice bag, which is your salt and chili chips, your salt and chili chicken, and it's just all with this. It's not the same as salt and chili chips, not.
It was very spicy.
It's like a dusty put in it, but it's really nice, man. But obviously we were sitting in, so it was in a big bowl. Ordered two, which we probably should have just got one.
When we stood up to walk away, it was as if we had the eating, because there was that much food still lying on the plates.
We got salt and chili chicken balls. They were dynamite. Did you try them?
Aye.
Oh, they were lovely.
You kept telling me to eat more, and I was like, I'm actually done.
Fried rice. We got noodles.
Aye,
we got the works. We got too much, and I pretty much ate my full bowl. I made sure I was on a mission. I was loving life. I was enjoying myself. I was steaming drunk. No had a night out in a while, you know what I mean? No being able to go and really enjoyed the wrestling show. All the matches are 10 out of 10, man. So I had the vibes were vibing, you know what I mean? And I was eating my wee heart content.
The thing about David is that if he's doing a food review, it doesn't matter if he's only going to take one bite, and also how much it's going to cost. He's buying your order and everything.
Obviously, what's the point? No, what's the point? If you've got to eat something, you may as well.
You don't mess about.
And also, I hate that, but like, there's a few things on the menu I try. So why should I no get something just because I'm not going to eat it all?
I'm too stingy.
Know what I mean?
I would rather be. I'm like tactical. I'm like, right, okay. If I'm going to eat metal chips, I'll buy them. Whereas you just buy everything.
I save up what I got to do. Save up the money. Nothing's got to happen when I'm dead. Oh, my Wayne's going to spend it. Shocking. I could enjoy myself getting a munch. So that's what I do. So I got a good bit of everything. And plus as well, but it's not really, when I got a food review, here's the basic bog standard thing that everybody gets all the time, you know what I mean? So here, and then I'm just eating it. I just get one thing. You need to, you know what I mean? I need to have variety so people can be like, what if I eat something that somebody doesn't like and I just ate the one thing? I need to have variety so people can try all the different things. Even though, to be fair, at this, I pretty much
feel quite passionate about it.
I do, you know what I mean? So this is what made me. These food reviews are right, bitch. No,
he called me a bitch in my sleep the other night.
What did he?
I said, move on. He went, don't touch me, you bitch. it just came back to me.
No, I sound like a pure bad. I was a wee joke, that bitch there. Not meaning the one I was sleeping. I can't be blamed for it. I do. I was sleeping. No, I mean. Anyway.
Right, sorry. So then after it we got a taxi back.
But I'd say the spice bag, honestly, 9.23 out of 10.
Yeah, it was really good.
I would eat that again. Even though you wouldn't think so, because when we get home.
like Niagara Falls.
Oh,
like,
man.
so bad.
Niagara Boke,
I
man.
woke up and got such a fright, especially as well because you were being sick in the dark. And I said, you better put that light on and start cleaning up. And you're like, no, I actually, Georgia, I can't. And then
horrible,
I
man.
must have fell back asleep again and woke back up and you were being sick again.
Honestly, it was howling.
You're such a bad person at being sick as well.
Oh,
like,
man.
you don't have... Aye.
That projectile and all that, like, just hummers comes out everywhere.
Aye, it's like the exorcism.
It is disgusting, man.
It's really bad.
Honestly.
So, I said to him the next day, fuck, you look skinny as hell. Like, you look
That's what I was like, man. I was like, I don't know what about all the food I ate, man. It's all came back up, man. Honestly, it's something out of shite that day, and it's just, it did not register. Not. I'm lucky. Probably end up losing weight on that day, you know what I mean? Probably minus calories.
Because we done something out walking and
I
stuff
know,
like that as
man.
well. But it was brilliant.
That was great, man, and hopefully get to go back soon. As I said, the OTT did a bit of free promotion for them, you know what I mean? OTT, they get some of the biggest wrestlers in the wrestling world, and in October they're actually bringing over the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough for their 10-year anniversary show. So me and Georgia are going to hopefully go over and maybe take Bo. So we're not actually told Bo, so maybe this is us telling him, maybe this is how we tell him.
I wouldn't get lost in the
Get to
episode.
watch your podcast, this is how we tell him we got to Ireland, we man, eh? We told him the day about the show, not, and he's like, cause it's now, he's like, what are you telling me for? I'll not be gone, not as if I've not got to be got to Ireland for it, not I mean? So that'll be
So you
quite
can
good.
find it this week.
And it does actually watch, not really fair.
But it was brilliant. I can't wait to go back.
Really good, can't wait myself. You know what I mean? Send a wee mate. Georgia and Bo gone, send a wee message, Joe. We'll be in the country, mate. Can wrestle.
But we've got a big weekend coming up.
A very big weekend.
Very, very big weekend. Sorry, this isn't a wrestling podcast, but we have got Hornswoggle coming to Glasgow on Thursday.
Glasgow. So Hornswoggle, if you don't know who Hornswoggle is, what have you been doing the last 10 to 15 years? He's no just wrestling, he's the type of guy that's went beyond the wrestling. He's very, very mainstream. Hornswoggle used to be the WWE Leprechaun that used to come out with Fit Finlay, run about with a wee shillelagh and stuff like that. So we have managed to get him for 3 days. He's wrestling for our show in Govan at the Govan Rumble on Friday. Then on Saturday he'll be wrestling in Hamilton, and then on Sunday he's wrestling for our friends promotion, The Wanderer, at Rutherglen at the Glencairn. So 3 massive shows. Can't wait, looking forward to it, really, really excited. This is now the 3rd big name we've dealt with. We've obviously dealt with other people, like former WWE guy who has been all over the world. This is the 3rd now that we're getting to use on our show, and very excited for it. Also going to be doing a seminar with him on the Thursday. He's got his own wrestling school back in America, so getting to learn from him and getting the trainees from the Glasgow School of Wrestling to learn from him as well. It is a great opportunity, so really looking forward to that. It's always great to get to see guys that you grew up watching on the TV and then getting to work with them, stuff that dreams are made of, and through all me and George's hard work managed to make it come true. But to be fair, big shout out to The Wanderer. It was actually him that sorted all this out, which I'll not say anything else about it. I was very surprised that he sorted it. Very surprised, not kidding that. So shout out to The Wanderer for sorting it, but big weekend, looking forward to it. You looking forward to it?
Yes, I am. It used to be really nerve-wracking when we got people who were such a big name, because it's obviously quite daunting when you meet people, but actually probably what we've learned now is they're just down to earth, normal sort of people, but it's not always been that way. And I wrote down Hurricane here because I wanted you to tell your Hurricane story.
So one of the first big names we ever dealt with, wasn't it, when we were working with CPW? It was back in the day when I used to wrestle for a company called Pro Wrestling Elite. Was owned by my coach and mentor Lionheart, God rest his soul, not here with us anymore, but he used to run a wrestling company called Pro Wrestling Elite, and Ershaw would do a couple of shows every few months. We'll do a show every few months, and we'd get big names in from the WWE and stuff like that as to his selling point. So on one of these shows he had the Hurricane, former WWE wrestler, on his show, and when he asked anybody could get him from the airport. Nobody had put their name down for it, so I went, I could go and get him. My missus drives. I don't drive, not me, but I said I could get him picked up for the airport. Actually, it wasn't the airport, it was Glasgow Central, and I had volunteered Georgia for said task. But I never told Georgia about this, obviously not being me. I just thought, you know what, this is the Hurricane. Obviously, Georgia's going to want to drive him and give him a listen. Not, I mean, it's one of the, it's a legend of the wrestling. He's been in the ring with The Rock, Stone Cold, and Triple H. Of course, we'll want to drive him to this show. But obviously, when I phoned Georgia, she actually had a party with Bo, so I was screwed because obviously as well I couldn't message.
Screwed, you were absolutely livid, and you were saying to me, you need to go and get him. You need to go and get him, and I couldn't express how much I really didn't care who it was, especially as well being like so shy that there was nothing worse than I could think about than driving from Glasgow Central all the way through to Ayrshire, like with this guy I didn't even know. And this is just a habit of David, that he does things like this to me all the time, just spring things upon me and just expects me to be alright with it.
I never mean it.
So anyway, he managed to pull it together because he managed to get somebody to give Hurricane a lift.
Because obviously I think about it as well, but I can't ask any of my wrestling pals that drive, because obviously if any of them could do it, I've took that opportunity off of them by putting Georgia for it, and plus they're probably going to grass me in and fling me under the bus for it and that as well, and I didn't want to get into trouble. So I start school and I start thinking to myself, who could do? So I ask all my friends that drive, none of them up for doing it, and I think, wait a minute, there's that boy that likes wrestling that I'm kind of pal away and that. So I end up messaging him and asking him, and he's like, I ain't bother. So he comes and picks me up, and then we go to pick up the Hurricane. He'd actually brought his girlfriend at the time along as well, so there's two of us in the back of the motor waiting on Hurricane coming out. So I go and get Hurricane, find him, bring him to the car, and the first thing that my mate does is Hurricane gets in it. I told him not to do anything like this, but he does it anyway. He goes, what was it like being in the Royal Rumble with Brock Lesnar? I'm like, oh no, and the Hurricane just looks at me and kind of goes, he says, yeah, it was okay, it was fun. Not, I mean, he just keeps asking all these questions, how's the Rock, this and that, and I know as a wrestler, I wouldn't mind it. Not, I mean, I don't mind it, but I've never been at the level of fame where I'm getting people waiting for me at airports and that to try and get me to sign stuff and that, so I can understand it. It's probably very annoying, and these guys are probably just wanting to sleep, whereas obviously as well, my mate had just literally, this boy, my mate, loose terms, but the boy, I get on with him, he is obviously agreed to do it because he wants to ask all these questions. So, you know, he's helping
he's just
you
excited.
He's just excited. So it's like, it is me, it's been the dick. Not, I mean, I'll fully admit that, but obviously as I've got the Hurricane away, he said to me everything was fine, that yada yada. So I got Georgia, I agreed to take him home with us. So I was like, right, I'm in the clear here. Lionheart doesn't know about this. I'm all good stuff, right? So
He actually got in the car, Hurricane got in the car, put the seat back, and just fell asleep and didn't speak to us the full time there, which was so. I actually have never driven so slow. I was actually like 10 to 2 the full time. Like my hands were sweating because I obviously I just don't know what to say. So I was quite happy in the sense that he did not want to talk to us just as much as I didn't want to talk to him.
Then when we go to the hotel, there was problems with that as well, so that wasn't ideal. I had to go in and help him fix that and stuff. But obviously I thought I've got away with a scot-free. Yes, here we go, man. And then Adrian Lionheart messages me and goes, I know that it wasn't you that drove, I know it wasn't your missus that drove Hurricane Air. Why did you not tell me? No, I was like, oh mate, I'm not gonna lie, man, it was last minute. Georgia was coming through to get me. Poor Wayne, he's getting fallen under the bus here, not me. But I actually said, as Georgia was driving through to get us, the Wayne shot himself and is messed up. The Wayne shot himself and he's messed up the motor. No, the motor needs to go and get valeted, mate. I couldn't let you down and phone up and tell you, so I just sorted it myself. I tried to fix it myself and that, and I felt like I did. But obviously, if you've found out I've not fixed it well, and he's like, he obviously did kind of see the funny side. He's like, but you're an arsehole. You know what I mean? I feel like I had that really. I always felt like Hartle was like I felt like, no, my dad, you know what I mean? But I felt like he was like a fatherly figure to me, because he did always look out for me. He'd also be like, like your dad, like, you're a fucking dick, but know what I mean? Like, I believe in you, know what I mean, man, but stop being a fucking idiot, man, not all the time. Just talk to people, but obviously I just always felt I was up against it and all because of my background, not all these people that in wrestling that have got never been in trouble in their life and do this, and then there's me who's always up to mischief, not so even though the times where I was trying to really do good, I end up messing it up. But then that was needing the worst part of it. So then a couple of days later, somebody sends me, the Lionheart sends me pictures, and it's my mate arguing with Hurricane in Instagram comments because Hurricanes went on a podcast and slaughtered my mate for being a wee mark and pure asking him all these questions and all that. Luckily, I just get called trainee wrestler. But my mate got it quite bad, know what I mean? And then my mate's pure like, you would have been an arsehole not to Hurricane, which I don't think he was, know what I mean? Because he was just tired and he was obviously no wanting to deal with that stuff. If anybody's the arsehole, it was me, know what I mean? I should just no put people forward for stuff that they didn't want to do without even asking them for it, know what I mean?
You do that all the time.
Kid on my way and shat himself to get away.
You know, like over the years, like so many times, David has told people that Bo's been no well. Like, or he can't go to school.
Poor Wayne's immune system's cracking, man.
Bo is genuinely never ill. Actually, I think he's been off, like he's going into first year on Wednesday. He's actually been off sick. I can actually count on one hand how many times he's been off sick since he's been in primary one. And you've actually got him shiting himself. He's like, aye. And I was like, what is going on? So that was so funny. But David
should I use the word violently or no, man?
Violently. Violently. That's a sin. So I just thought,
oh yeah, we manly still got to see Judgment Day. No, I mean, swings and roundabouts. Nah, man, probably not even made it this far because you're away telling us how buzzing you are about Judgment Day.
But David does stuff like this to me all the time. He'll just spring things upon me. Like even when I fill the car up to the absolute maximum when we're going to shows nearly every weekend, and then I'll get round to the hub where we're all leaving to go, and he'll say you need to put 3 people in your motor. I'm like, well, do you want me to strap them to the ceiling? Things like this just happen.
We should get a wee bike rack for them.
But it was so funny. So hopefully we've got any instances this weekend with Hornswoggle because
no, it'll be fine.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
We've not had that problem with the guys that we've luckily this stuff happened. We know how to like.
You've obviously had a bit of growth since then. Obviously the shite stories.
Obviously not offending that long. God rest his soul. But obviously I didn't mind about. Deep down I must not mind about embarrassing age. Not when I've went and done stuff like that. Whereas obviously I don't want to embarrass myself with these guys, and I make sure everything's fit, prim and proper. No, I mean all my T's are crossed and my I's are dotted.
Yes, aye. Much better, much more mature.
Yep.
So that was funny. I've actually got to hear some. So we and David were talking in the house last week because we spoke about what irritates us with each other last week, and we're thinking a good wee segment with today would be different emotions, and bring them forward and things that couples and stuff might be able to relate to. So we've got to do our X this week. I don't know if we've got enough time for how many we got.
3 each.
Have you got 3 each? Okay.
I guess you get a full notepad again.
Well, actually, I done my X when you were sleeping on the plane the other day. I sat and wrote my X for you, but I've not wrote them down. So you can go first.
Right, so my first X, speaking of Georgia saying I called her a bitch earlier in my sleep, me and Georgia actually have full-blown conversations when she is sleeping. I'll walk up the stair and Georgia will sit up. She's been exercised, know what I mean, man? Exorcism of Georgia N of Notepad Nisbet, absolute heat spin and everything. And she'll be talking to me, and then she'll end up halfway through it, but she'll kind of realise that she'll be like, huh? And end up just like, know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm a hypnotist or something, she'll be like, she'll go back down. But that isn't what gives me ick. It's the next day where she'll deny it, but then she'll realise I'm obviously not talking shit. So instead of just going right, fair, do that, she's like, why are you even talking to me when I'm sleeping, man? You always do that, just let me sleep. Know what I mean? Her inner Ned comes out, know what I mean? Georgia Ned, but know what I mean? Comes out and starts, know what I mean? Hat, know what I mean? Try to stab me. Oh, calm down, you, man. Know what I mean? Her big hooped earrings, know what?
Oh, honestly.
What are you talking to me when I'm sleeping for, man? What are you doing that? You know I'm sleeping. You're talking to me, mate. I don't actually know. Sometimes your eyes are open, man.
It's scary. But actually, my mum caught me one day going out the door trying to go to school like 2 a.m. I've been sleepwalking since Curtis is ready to fall off his chair. I have been sleepwalking since I've been about 12. I remember
Well, that's
like
it.
what'd you say? Oh God. No, I actually agree with you. That's really so bad. At least I own it. Right?
I don't think you do. What are you talking to? I'm sleeping pot.
I've definitely got better as the years have went on. Right, anyway, so my first ick for you is the tomato sauce. Right, so David
What tomato sauce does him?
What?
What tomato sauce does him?
Don't know if you're allowed to say that.
I'm definitely on the spectrum.
Oh.
ADHD, same thing.
So David puts tomato sauce on absolutely everything apart from a curry, and I mean pasta, you name it, it's gone everywhere.
No pasta. Macaroni, no. If there's a sauce on it, maybe I like it on gravy. But if there's like already like a distinct sauce, I'm not going to pour it on that. Not if it's like a curry or like, I don't know, like what else was it there? Like pasta sauce and stuff. I'm not going to stick on that, but I am sticking tomato sauce on my baked beans and my gravy and what I talk about outside.
So he puts sauce on absolutely everything, and then he'll eat every dinner like a curry. So like for instance, like if you've got a fry up, the full fry up goes on the one roll and everything's dripping all down. Like we went for breakfast in Dublin yesterday morning, and I had to put my beans on a separate plate because none of my food can touch each other, whereas David's, everything gets smushed together and it all gets set at the one time. That really gives me the ick. You know what else you do when you've got beans or sauce on your horn, you wipe it on your socks. And that really sends me. That makes me ill.
That seemed like a bit Forex, no one.
That was a lot. I've been holding that in. Right, go.
Well, my ick of yours actually is the fact that so I'm sure a lot of guys actually do get this, right? But George's a picky eater, right? So my ick isn't the fact that she's a picky eater. Fair play, right? But when we're deciding where we're going to go out, right? If I say to Georgia we're going to this place, Georgia will examine the menu 16 weeks in advance, know what I mean? It's her favourite thing to do, but that's not the ick, right? The ick is the fact that she'll ask me, right, I'll eat anything, right? I know what I mean? As long as the tomato sauce is we've already spoken about, I'll eat it, I'll not even stick my tomato sauce in it.
He actually goes to shops if there's no tomato sauce in restaurants, goes next door and buys it to shops and takes his own sauce with him.
Guilty. But my ick is the fact that if we're deciding to go out somewhere, she goes, so where do you want to go? And I'm like, honestly, you pick, because I'll eat anything. And she goes, no, you need to pick. And then she'll start getting annoyed at me. And then if I do suggest anywhere, I don't like that, I'm not going to like it, I'll check the menu, I'm not actually going to like it now. Why don't you just pick in? Why don't you just say if it's all a problem, you look a couple of menus, see what you like, and then tell me and we can go. That is I would rather
That's
just...
valid.
No, I mean, I don't want to... Like, what's the point in me picking 6 places to then get told no to? You just pick somewhere and then I'll pick on the menu what I like, because there'll be something I like. Whereas if you go and... if I want to try this new fancy Mexican, there's a good chance you might not like it. But she did try tacos at the weekend, and it wasn't the worst thing that she ever ate. So we're getting better, know what I mean? We are getting better, but that is my ick, know what I mean? You're the menu watcher, you watch the menus, pick one, and then I'll pick after you.
That's very valid. Okay, number 2 for me is when you dress like Adam Sandler, and it really, really grinds my gears. David will intentionally go into the drawer and pick things to annoy me that's just out to ruin my day. So wear like a purple t-shirt, red shorts, black socks and white trainers, like white and blue trainers. I'm like, why are you wearing that? He says, see, when I go into my drawer, Georgia, I pick the first thing. It would be hard to believe, but he actually goes out and spends a lot of money on clothes, and then he'll come back and say, look what I bought, and none of it will be matching each other. And I think, where did you see that? So right now, he's got his free t-shirt on, his free shits and gigs
I
t-shirt.
actually wore this to commemorate the story last week about the shits and gigs. Remember we talked about how I had a free t-shirt and a bag. This was the free t-shirt. To be fair, a bit bougie, not one of the big t-shirts that you wear at the dancing. I don't know, the kids do these days.
He's got some pinky corduroy shorts on.
And then my good step ones poking through.
I loves telling everybody wears step ones because they're 20 quid a pair, and he fucking loves it.
What, 10 pair in the one day, so I did
That's when he knew he was coming up in the world.
I get that good step one money, man. To be fair, you get a deal, not 20 quid if you buy 10. That's why I bought 10, because you get them on a deal, fuck so. I'm not buying 20 quid boxes.
So that really gives me the ick.
Do you know what Animal lyrics is, right? This is probably a lot of people, right? I don't drive, right, so obviously I'm not the best person to say anything about it, right? But see, Georgia, when we're going places and she needs to find the place, right? She needs the volume down for some reason to see better. I don't know.
An actual thing.
No,
That is a thing.
No, isn't it? No, isn't it?
What, you backseat driver?
I'm the passenger princess, to be fair. I'm the fresh passenger prince of Drummond Square, alright, you? Shut up. Anyway, so I just think it's strange. And then see if I mention, like, when you turn the tunes, she'll start shouting at me. I guess, like, obviously, I obviously don't like it when Georgia gets aggressive, but as you can see in my ex here, not because if it just does seems to relate to when she shouts at me, obviously turn into a wee puppy again. I'm like, what?
Get a wee bit of trauma
it's
there.
a bit ick, man. It's a fucking ick, this man. Fucking hell, man. Wee Betty.
Betty's his nana, by the way. No, that's a thing with drivers, that if you can't find somewhere to turn the music down, you need to. It's
I
like
suppose I did get
concentration.
if you were to go, cause your senses are better if the other one, I could get that, but it's a lot of shit.
See, in my work, if I'm talking to somebody, like if I'm talking to Caitlin, in our work we've got like the pillar type things, if I can't see her lips, I can't hear what she's saying. It's you don't realise how much you're using your senses to like watch people talk and stuff. So it's the same in the car. I need to turn the music down when I'm lost, or else I can't find where I'm going. So yeah, right, okay, third one for me, and it's one that's really got me this year because we've been on a lot of flights together. But David wants to wait until the last person on the flight, right? Which is fine. I get why he's doing that, because I think the flight's not going to go through you. We're at the right gate. We're sitting in position. And then he'll start taking photos of the people who wait in the queue, because that really gets him, right? That makes him so angry when people wait in the queue to go on the plane, right?
What do I call them?
Is it the MCPV? Other letters, I don't know.
NPC.
What does that mean?
They're non-playable characters.
Right, and he's got Bo doing it now. He's Bo's like, look at all the NPCs up there. So he's Bo now getting this wee bit of rage about him as well. But the one thing that's fine if you want to wait, but see when he gets on, right, and especially because quite a lot this year we've just had hand luggage because we're only gone for like 2 days whenever David's wrestling. When all the people are on before us and they've put their luggage in the hand luggage aisle, if his aisle has got luggage in it, he'll start pulling people's cases out and putting people's cases somewhere else, to the point where when we were at Paris, when was that, June, and you then started arguing with the flight attendant.
I didn't start arguing. I just said that is my use here, so that's where my hand luggage should go. See, if theirs is down, there should be at their aisle. That's all I said. But
if there's no space and you're like the last person on, you've left that to chance, and then you for whatever reason that in Dublin you try to then move away and sit somewhere else. So he then has a wee skill about, because he's the last on, and he'll go, where's the better seat? And even though it's just me and him, he'll just go and move away from me. But even in the airport yesterday, I want to pull you up for this as well. You then went away and sat somewhere else away from me, and I says, do you know what, I sit next to me. Bear in mind, right, at the airport, you're sitting in front of people like waiting to get on the plane. And I says, do you know what, I said next to me, and he went, oh, can I need to go on that plane and sit next to you or not? I was like, fuck's sake.
Well, you know, if I was
fucking up all night listening to you spewing, and you're wanting to go away and sit away from me.
Well, I didn't want to go away and sit with you. I just obviously, you know what it's like, boys.
So that's my FX.
No, that's fair. Well,
no, there's no
it's a wee life hack for you if you're travelling, especially if you're a solo traveller, right? Obvious, I wrestle, my bones are sore, right? I jump about it, I wrestle. As my choosing, right, I get that, but I need to try and incorporate things to make my body better, right? So I like to wait to the very end, right, so that everybody's on, so when I go on, I can look about 9 times out of 10, there's either seats at the front with extra legroom for me, or full rows available. And I just think that's being a savvy spender. Because instead of paying extra money for
that's boy
good
maths.
seats, boy man, instead of paying these money for all these seats, I'll just chill, wait for everybody else to go on, so I know nobody else is getting on, so I can be the first person to pick up. At one time, to be fair, the woman came up to me, she's like, that's not your seat, is it? And I was like, aye, it is. And she's like, what's your number? Show me your phone. I was like, phone's died, you know what I mean? She's like, what number is your hangman? I looked up behind her to see what one was on the same row. I was like, 5. She's like, okay.
You win.
Well, no,
but it's the entitlement. It's I deserve this.
I don't never say I deserve it, but in life, right, see if you're going to do stuff like this.
Otherwise.
No, if you're going to do stuff like this, you need to be in the zone of, this is my seat, this is I'm doing it. See if you got me, you start going, actually, I don't know, they're just going like, obviously it's not your seat, fuck you, up there.
Oh no, it's not my
whereas
seat.
I need to be like, have you told me this is my seat? Why would I be sitting in this seat if it wasn't my seat, mate? Obviously I know there's 3 heels and I'm going to put my legs up, but that's not why I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here because it's my seat.
Right. Well, that's us. Our Ricks are done.
No, okay.
You want to go again? So, yes, hopefully...
I actually do feel like I should go. It means I'll shake compare yours, man. I get fucking buried there. Fuck's sake, man.
Actually, I had another one. I'm gutted I never said it, but I'll save it.
When you go there?
It'll fit it into another emotion.
Right, fair dues.
It'll work with a couple of things. David suggested that we should talk about the things that we like about each other, and I said, nah, it's too early on in the episode for that. Maybe episode 10
which is basically meaning that she's no got 3 things that she likes about me.
I need a couple of weeks to think about it.
Snake, man.
But I think that's us.
I was wanting to go on and read some of the comments for the last episode, just because I feel like we get a lot of engagement on the YouTube, and it was a story about the sassy man apocalypse. So let's see if there is anybody who's sassy men in life. Or was it that one? No, this was the shits and gigs one. This was it. Aye. So, 28 comments, most engaged one yet.
So thank yous all.
So we've got Family Girl. This is actually Claire from Ireland, so this is one of our Irish viewers that we're talking about, who was actually saying she wants to bring her kid over from Ireland to take him to the wrestling school. So if you're watching, Claire, you're more than welcome to do that. We'd actually love that. You know what I mean? You know me, I'm all about the social media, getting to say somebody's flew all the way over from Ireland to come to the wrestling school would be something I'd love to do, but obviously I'd also love to have you over, show you some hospitality and that. So speaking of Ireland, next one is Celtic to the Court 1888. I didn't even say what she said, actually, not just got to be on a tangent, but she loves that when David talks food, the whistle just happens. Also, but Claire, she commented some of my whistle on one of my videos, and she is still getting notifications today about people liking it. Welcome to my world. No, so I gone on for the Irish. Then we've got Celtic to the Court 1888. Doing well, guys. Keep them coming. Don't you worry. We are already halfway away from where you're told that podcasts don't last. We are going to keep them coming and coming and coming. We are like Ange Postecoglou's Celtic. We are not going to stop. I'd probably alienated half my viewers there. My stepson likes Rangers and all that. I mean, so we're anti-sectarianism here. Anyway, moving on you go, George. You read something. I'm digging myself a hole here.
What does it need? Does that say John McCauley?
John McCauley, 1888.
Great work, troops, and Sunny G doing a fantastic job for the governing community. Love that.
Cheers, John. I appreciate that. No, I mean, I feel like, to be fair, alienating our viewers. No, I mean, we've got Celtic to the Core 1888 and then John McCauley 1888. But it looks like all our viewers swing that way anyway. You know what I mean? Go doing a bit. So Nicole Jasmine, James 1 has said, howling at the sneaking in bit. Just remember Davie, pure persistent at the security at Jeremy Sisman, that the entrance was in fact the one he was meant to get in until the security gave up and let us through and managed to get us into standing. See what I mean? If you have the confidence and you believe, eventually somebody's going to go, you know what? This is above my pay grade. I'm no getting bored with. See if I let them in, who's actually going to find out? How's somebody got to know? And they'll just usually let you in or let you do it. So, fake it till you make it. And then when you make it, fake it some better. And on you go.
Let's see. Scroll down a wee bit, Christ.
Well, no, that's one I like, to be fair. A wee bit more. Great chemistry, nice to see positive, happy people making a podcast. Here's to many more episodes. We should have great chemistry. We've been together for the last 10 years, but also that's what makes all the good stories will go, because we've been with each other for so long. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't feel like we had good chemistry. But it's good to see that that's coming across and people are actually getting to see it, especially for
viewers.
For the viewers and stuff like that, people that are buying in and stuff like that.
Steph, she's commented again, just said, I support recycling and notepads. And I love Uncle Thomas, get him on.
To be fair, he's definitely got a shout at me for calling you a bitch this week, man. I'm getting into trouble for that
He's
one.
gotta be
It was a joke, man, right before anybody even starts. This one here, in fact, this one I want to read because this is funny. Georgia actually quizzed me on this. If you want to read that, Georgia.
So it said, first comment, yes, and TWHT, and I'm thinking, right, I actually went to Google and typed in TWHT.
You any idea what TWHT could mean, Curtis? No, it's what I'm not allowed to say on this podcast. That's what's happening, troops.
And that is what's happening, troops. I think that's us. But thank you all for your nice comments.
One last one, because this could, come on, last one. So Jenny said, I love your outfit, Georgia. You look amazing. Defo, Chateau X, or Bella Vita. That's our fave when having a date night. So there's 2 recommendations for a food review. So we should maybe look into getting one of them on the list for this week.
Definitely. We went to Bella Vita a couple of times. Remember last time they gave you free food?
Oh, aye, because they recognise it. No, it's the perks, man. Perks, definitely.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
I had my phone out, doing a wee food review, to be fair, just because we were out, and I think the guys have seen it like, here, better look after him, so it's a good one. To be fair, it was a good food review. No, because he looked after me, because I would never ever be swayed. But if it's good, I'll get full marks. So Chateau X or Bella Vita, if you're watching this, you see me. It's on your head, beer. But anyway, thank you very much, guys. I have been Ravie Davie, the Fresh Prince of the Boy Square. This is
Georgia,
and we are the 10 years in podcast. Thank you very much, and don't know what to say because I can't say my catchphrase, so you just finish it for me.
Thank yous and bye.